Hi, I'm Alexa. Welcome to my channel. Let's jump on in. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about accountability. And if you've been here a while, you will know I love to pull up definitions, and when I have them, have resources for you to read as well. So today, just a definition from Merriam Webster Dictionary, the online version. Accountability is the quality or state of being accountable, especially an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. So, what does this mean? It means that we recognize we have ownership of ourselves, and when we make choices, the consequences of those choices are ours as well. I think there's a quote that I like, and I say it semi-regularly. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And what this means is really that you can have the absolute most purest motives. You're trying to help someone, and you end up causing them some form of harm, whether it's emotional pain, physical something, loss of opportunity, whatever it is, you hurt them. Well, you didn't mean to. Okay, but you did. Your actions caused something. And a lot of the time, and I certainly have been in this boat myself, we might get offended that people don't see how much we tried to do something, like the good intentions behind it. The good intentions don't matter if the consequences are negative and you're not willing to own those consequences. And in many cases, it would be a change behavior. I did not mean that. I'm very sorry. How can I help you fix it? Let's not do it again in future. That kind of thing. I think it's possible for people to be oblivious. I know it's possible for people to be oblivious that what they're doing in their mind and their heart is something really good and positive. They can be oblivious that it can actually have negative consequences. I have been accused of this by someone, and I struggle a little bit with how much to believe it, because as I look back on when they've said it to me, it always was from a very self-serving, controlling point of view. It is one of the two family members I do not speak to anymore. And part of me wanted to fully deny it and just go from saying, well, I didn't understand. And then they actually said, I know you don't know what you're doing, and I get mad, which is why I then have to intentionally hurt you. That's almost word for word what they said to me, which is absolutely insane in my mind, that you think you have to intentionally hurt someone, like you know, and you choose to do that. That is not them taking accountability for their actions. That is them saying that I'm to blame for their actions. It's the opposite of accountability for their own actions. That I just make them so mad. I mean, I'm that powerful. I can force them to do stuff. It makes no sense. It makes less and less sense the longer I have sort of thought about it and studied it and learned about the actions of high control individuals. Accountability is when you do something and you genuinely don't mean harm. Maybe you do mean harm. I mean, you can take accountability for your actions even when you mean the harm. But you stand up and you say, I recognize what I did and where I went wrong. I recognize where I could have made a different decision. I recognize how this could have been perceived differently than the way I meant it. So miscommunication is literally the person not understanding what the message is you're receiving. That's most basic, simple. And every misunderstanding in life comes from miscommunication, pretty much. And it can be very simple to just say, okay, no, I'm actually listening, and I can see where what I did could have made you feel that way. I can see where there was a point where I could have made a different choice, which, good to know for future. And then you do really have to follow that up with future changed actions, right? And I hope that I'm able to continue practicing that, becoming better at it, and showing others that it's okay to do it. Because there are way too many examples in the public eye where they don't take accountability for their actions. It wasn't them. Someone else. It's all someone else's fault. Stop. Stop. No. No one can force you to do stuff, short of them sort of having some sort of something over your head. But even then, if someone is threatening you, if someone is, blackmailing you, you still have choices. You still have choices. I talked about a video I saw, a short I saw a few months ago, probably at this point, where the gentleman was at the DMV, and the person there was having a bad day and was basically trying to say they weren't going to serve him even though he was there like an hour before they closed. And he called the main office and said, I'm literally here and they're saying they can't serve me. And they're like, yeah, they can't turn you away. You're there while we're still open. They have to serve you. And he was talking about how he could have let that service rep's attitude affect him, and he could have gotten frustrated, annoyed, and angry, and shout, and, do all the things that we can do when we get in a frustrating situation. And he was saying you're not triggered, right? Because triggered gives that power to someone else. You're allowing yourself to react and using their behavior as your reason. Now, as a sufferer of misophonia, there are certain things that you cannot control. So I do believe that there are valid triggers where if a person is in a certain mental state, they cannot control themselves. It's the same as hearing nails on a chalkboard, and even saying that, don't like it. I can hear the sound in my head. It's one of the misophonia. Lovely bonuses. But I do think that people use being triggered as an excuse a little too much. And I think that it is the opposite of accountability. And I think that I have had to learn this myself and adjust my own behaviors over time. So I know it's not easy. I know that there is always going to be, that day when you're very tired, super stressed out, and stuff gets harder to handle. That's true. That's okay. And maybe you don't make the best choice in that moment. How you handle the follow-up is important. And that's where you get to take accountability for your not perfect behavior, right? And we can all strive to do better. So that's really all I got today. It's just a short one. If you're here till the end, thank you. Maybe drop a like, subscribe. Let me know. When did you recently take accountability for something, if you're willing to share? And I will see you on the next one. Be kind to yourself.